Hello, my name is Julia O'Neill and I'm a naturalist at the Walter V. Jacobs Memorial Nature Park, which is one of Caddo Parish parks. Welcome to Let's Get Creative workshop today. And we're going to do a wire bird nest, hummingbird nest today. The materials that we're going to be needing are some wires, 22 gauge brown copper wire, 22 gauge green copper wire, 16 gauge colored copper wire, and 28 gauge green copper wire. And we're going to use 5 green beads for leaves and 2 white oval ones for eggs, and there will be something like a pendant underneath the nest. It is up to you, totally to your taste, whatever you choose. I choose this one like this, it will be dangling, and 2 before and after this, it will be underneath the nest, kind of an extension, ornamental, and 2 pliers, a nipper, and a flat head. I think that, and a pen. And I think this is all we need for the program. Before we begin, I would like to give information about these gauges of the wires. Generally people get confused because although gauge of the wire indicates its diameter, it's not the actual measurement of the diameter. It is in fact gauging process. It is the number of process the wire went through. So this is a 16 gauge wire, and it went through the gauging process for 16 times. Gauging process is pulling the wire to get it thinner and thinner. And this is 22 gauge, so it went through the process, gauging process, for 22 times. So it is 22 gauge and it is thinner. And this one went through gauging process for 28 times. So it is 28 gauge and it is even thinner, almost as thin as a hair. So the more they pull it, every time they pull it, the wire gets thinner and thinner, and the gauge is the number of going through that pulling process. The more it is pulled, more many times it is pulled, the thinner it becomes. So after this information, let's begin. Okay, this is how we begin. First, let's cut our wire, 10 inches of the 16 gauge, the thickest wire, and then 2 brown, 2 green, 22 gauges, around about 34 inches each. I'm not going to cut anything from this beautiful green. I'm just going to put it at the very last on outer part of the nest. So I will look how much we would need. Okay, so we're going to start with the 16 gauge. It's going to be the main branch. I take my flathead plier and I grab one end and I curl it. it looks like this. So it is like this, and I like this. We're gonna do the other end the same way. Just grab it from the tip and just curl it. Here it is. Okay, we're going to use one of these ends to put the nestle the nest in. So I will, whichever end you want, you can choose. This is the top. Let's make it. I'm going to make this part top, and this will be the bottom. So now we can start preparing the nest. For that, I'm going to take the eggs. You have to kink this to make it kind of like twirly, like a wire. I mean, like a wine. So just use your pencil. Anything round will do. Use your pencil. Let's do this first. Sorry for this. Okay. Twirl, twirl. In order to make kinks, this is the easiest way. And we're going to pull from each end. So it is curly like the natural vine or piece of bush would be. And then to make it even more curly, we crunch with your finger every so often. Just crunch it, give it a kink. So it is not straight line while you're wrapping around. It will look more natural like this. That's the only purpose of this. Just keep kinking. Okay, I think it looks quite natural. Okay, now use one end. Put your beads, I mean your eggs. They're not beads anymore, they're eggs. Leave 3-4 inches on top, and then curl it like this and twist it. This needs to be tight. Just twist it to make it secure so they don't wiggle. Let me do it one more time. And then you're going to leave this part free and take the longer piece, longer side, and start curling around the eggs. Just curl it. Don't cover the eggs. This is all we're going to do. This is how the nest is going to become. Every so often we have to tie these rings because we don't want them to move every which way. Whenever you think it is getting out of control, for example, I think I should tie once. Just to tie, just stick it on one side, just like you would tie a bundle of electric wires or any kind of wire. Okay, here is a good tie, and then I'm going to keep twirling. Next time when I tie, I'm going to use the other side, the opposite side, so it is tied from all directions in time. It's already starting to look like a nest. I'm gonna tie it now. Let's see. The other tie was on this side, so I'm gonna tie it from here. When you think it is getting out of control, slipping every which way, just tie. Let's keep going. I'm going to use this one on top totally, and then I'm going to start doing the bottom part with the other 3 pieces that I cut. And if you want, you can always cut more pieces. If you want a bulky nest, feel free to make your own nest. Okay, I'm going to tie this now again. Okay, I'm going to take the green now. To kink it first. Take your pencil. I'll say what. Let me kink all these because I don't want to forget every time. I'm going to kink all my nest material right now. Oops. 2. I have one more, a brown. We had 2 brown, 2 greens, and you can cut more as you need if you think you don't have enough nesting material around your eggs. Okay, now I'm gonna put these aside and I'm gonna use the green now. Let's do the same thing, pull and put some crunches, crunch it with your finger to make it even more irregular. Excuse me. I'm just pinching. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. I would like the end of this one secure it finished here. So in order for it not to be loose, since I have to tie this one, I will start tying from there, kind of like this, so the end of the other one is secured too. And I keep going round and round. And I'm going to turn it. I'm taking this one as the top of the nest, this side. It looks nicer. The eggs are not covered with the nesting material. I'm going to turn, this is the bottom, so I'm going to start narrowing my circles to cover the bottom of the eggs. This will be the bottom of the nest. I'm going to use the rest of the material to complete the top and bottom. And I'm going to put as many rows as I need. And tying, securing the circles, every so often. I'm tying it to the bottom ones so they stay all together. find a nice gap to put your wire through. Okay, I tied it on this side. Next time I'm gonna tie it on the opposite side. It is tied here now, so it won't move. I don't want them to move around. You wouldn't want them to move around either. When you feel like, okay, they're getting too loose, I'm gonna tie, just go ahead and tie. Don't wait for me to tie. Anchor your nesting material. Okay. Okay, this is a nice tie. I'll try to cover this bottom right now and get over with covering. And then I will use the last piece, last two pieces, to shape my nest nicely. So this is, I'm at the end of my rope again, no pun intended. Here I'm going to tie and okay, I think it looks pretty. Excuse me. It looks pretty secure. I'm going to put more around, maybe make it a little bit bulkier on the sides. Pull it, kink it. With these last two, I'm going to leave again some part, so there will be 3 of them for the leaves. Okay, we took care of that. Okay, let me straighten up a little bit, and then let's go in from the same end, because this is where the branch is going to be, so I'm going to leave another like this. So now I have 2 lines that will be wrapped around the bigger branch, and I keep going, turning round and round. This is the brown one, so I'm going to use, the last one will be the green again, and it will look pretty because they will mix, the greens and browns. Let me see if it gets a little bit looser. Yes, I think I need to tie this last parts that I put. I go wherever I can, I find a gap, a nice gap that I don't have to struggle. And go again from the same hole. So there is a really tying piece there. You find a gap to hold your material down. Let's go towards the down. You won't see the bottom of this, so don't worry about, it is this good covered this much is good enough. I just like a bulky nest, so I'm kind of making it like this. Okay, let's put some to the bottom. You can shape it the way you want. Once it looks like a nest, after that it is all decorative. The way you want your nest to look, just do whatever you like. This is the bottom. I have 2 of these. I'm going to put the green. This is the last one, kink it, kink it, kink it, kink it, kink it. I'm going to use the last one to tie the nest to the branch. Okay, here it is. This is our branch. You pick one side. Okay, I'm gonna pick this side and twist it like this so it is flat, so you can put the nest, you can sit the nest here. Okay, I just twist it like a chair seat. Make a seat. And I put the nest here, but before I put the nest here, let me leave this for the 3rd branch that's gonna stick out. And then I have to leave another piece at the bottom for the dangling part, for the pendant. So let's see. The rest is tying material. So I'm gonna sit the okay, to keep this in place so it won't wiggle around, let's use these 2 already so it stays in place. Okay, just wrap these 2 to this thicker part. So this stays here. Now try to tie your nest. I'm just going in loops with the nest material to the 16 gauge as much as possible. At the end I will, if there's any, in fact, it is secure enough. So you can use the rest the way you want. You can wrap it around a few more times. Remember to leave a piece dangling for the pendant from the bottom. I tie it around this a little bit more. And oh, let's not get carried away. I think this is good enough to leave at the bottom for the pendant part. Okay, let me try to make it coming from right in the middle by pulling it in here. Let me tie it first and then I will take it wherever I want. Okay, this is good. See, it came out right from the middle, from the bottom. We're going to put the bigger beads here, and there are 3 on top to put the leaves to this big branch. So I'm going to start with, let me wrap this once, the green one, because it is kind of longer, and start putting my leaves on. I'm going to start with this. So I'm going to just curl it and twist it. Branch, so it's not loose. I mean, it needs to be twist until it gets tight. You know, it's not going every which way. Okay, let's make it tangly a little bit more. Nothing is regular in the wild, so just keep that in mind. I will put one more leaf to the top, and then I will put the other 2 kind of underneath this one. This can be on the other side, which would be nice. Again, just fold it, wrap it, and twist this, or twist it before wrapping, so there's a part that there's enough space for you to twist. Okay, and then wrap this. After you're done, you can arrange your leaves in the way you want, you know, to the right or to the left. And if you have a thinner pen, I have this. See, if you buy a set of jewelry wire set, it comes with this. So this is to make these little curly parts. If you have something thinner than your pen, you can use that. And here it is. Okay. I will twist it one more. Make this shorter. Like that. Okay, let's put the other 3 leaves to these remaining 2. I'm going to start with this one. I want it a little bit away from the, well, if you want it away from the nest, you can leave it halfway like this, whichever, you know, however apart you want. I wouldn't want it too much apart. And then twist it. Twist the whole thing. Keep twisting your wire like this. And then of course you have to secure the end to the bigger branch again. And I'm gonna, now let me take one more wrap, and then I'm gonna curl it again. And I have 2 leaves for this one. So I'm gonna wrap a little bit. I'm gonna fill this gap here. Just put your leaves wherever you think is necessary. I think mine would do nicely here. I'm gonna make it closer to the branch, so I'm gonna fold it like this and twist it like this. You want to keep this looping wire in the back, you know, not in the front, of course. Okay, and I need one more leaf to be put. Let me put it right here in between these two, and then you can change the direction of your leaves the way you want. And I'm gonna just twist, twist, twist again. Okay, it's gonna be hanging like this. Okay, now let's do the pendant part. I have these. It's gonna be like this. So I'm gonna put the big one, the round one first, and then this one, so it won't come out. Or just turn and wrap if you don't want to. Maybe you can, to make it decorative, you can wrap it around your bead on top. Yes, I think that's a good idea. Instead of cutting the wire here, I can just cut it. I don't have to use the whole thing. I can just do this and cut the rest. But if you want to get even more, you can either cut this and leave it at that, or you can wrap this around this bead and leave. We have completed today's Let's Get Creative workshop. If you have any leftover wires, I'm sure you will have, just keep them, because we will be doing more wire crafts in the future and we can use them. Thank you for joining me, and see you next time.